Hi.
Hello.
How's
Welcome
everybody doing
to the
today?
Nontendo Podcast live.
Whoa!
You know,
I haven't had my coffee yet or anything.
it has been 10 episodes since we did a live. I know that because when I was
Oh my
setting
God.
up, it said episode 27 was the last time we were live. This is full live. Who is in the chat right now that we can say hello to? Not that I want to isolate the people listening
we
after
got
the
Chris
fact.
Brooks, we got Glacier Jr., we got a bunch
Got
of people.
old
We got a lot
Car
of people.
Steve. If you're listening after the fact, don't worry. This is still going to be just for you as it is for everyone watching live. This is a full episode of the podcast. We're getting 2 this week. This is episode
What
38.
a wacky,
We did.
weird, wild.
It's been so wacky. We had episode 37 just a couple days ago. This is the first time we've done 2 in a week. But
Yes.
my lord, didn't things work out for us?
It was worth it.
I know. It worked out really well. I mean, thankfully, we got that heads up leading into this week, and we were able to make a video about predictions and drop it just as we planned, right as the direct was announced, which is cool. And now here we are 2 days later, we get to sit here and talk about the direct. So it very rarely works out in our favor with how we shoot, but this has kind of been cool.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I was a little nervous because, I mean, both of us kind of planned our own personal, like our own channel videos on the direct also. Like you made your big comeback. I also structured some of my week around the direct. And in the middle of the direct, I was like, I don't know if I can make a video. Like, I don't know if there's anything here to make a video about. But then by the end, there was a whole lot. There was a lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot.
It
was a good week.
I was kind of the same. It started with a bang, and then it kind of got a little quiet. And then right in the middle, I was like, all right, this is going hard right now. Okay. You want to get into it? You want to get
well, we
pumped?
can do what they do. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, here we are.
Here we are. Here we're going.
we
Okay,
are.
so we both did make videos. I made a video. I got my video up in like an hour this time. I don't know how I did it.
You did it very quick, and I watched your video,
wild.
and there was a lot of editing in that video.
I know. I'm getting good at that. I was
That was
actually a
very
little
fast.
surprised. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like bare bones basic editing, but like I was freaking going for it. And you
I
put
was
your video.
expecting to do a similar thing. I knew I wasn't going to get it up in an hour, but I was expecting to, do something a very quick reaction. But there was some big news that I think was very relevant to me and my channel, and I had a lot to say about it. And I did a little more of an analysis, and I took my time with it, and I put it out this morning. So I was up to like 5 a.m. last night, having a lot of coffees.
That's what you're good at, though.
Looking at counting pixels on a screen. See what the scaling's like.
I haven't got to watch yours yet because it came out very recently. But I like that you do that, though. I like 2
hours before this.
I like that you take the direct and you kind of make a fun video out of it and you spend some time on it. I'm always impressed by that.
I wouldn't have been able to do that if there wasn't something that was perfectly relevant to my channel.
You got Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, if that didn't happen, I would have nothing. I would have had nothing to make a video about. That would have been it.
You could have figured it out.
I could have like done a reaction, but I couldn't have done like a Bob video. I wanted to do.
Yeah,
a Bob
I know. That's
video.
true. That's true. I do like Bob videos. So I said this in my video that I put out, but I love doing those reactions, but I've got to make it a YouTube video. It's got to be like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I got to skip over things. There's some stuff I don't get to talk about. And also I don't get to go into detail as much as I would like on a lot of the things I'm really excited for. So that's today. We have a whole freaking hour to break down this 40-minute direct. Honestly, an hour might not even be enough, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a 45-minute direct, and there was a lot in it. But look, it's a direct. There's a lot of stuff we don't care about. We should probably just skip right over that stuff.
The stuff we don't, yeah, I agree.
I got the video up right here.
Okay, bring it up. Do we want to? I'm noticing, and I shouldn't look at chat, but I'm noticing some people are saying that you might be quiet. Do you agree?
Are they?
Yeah. I saw someone
can
say
talk like this, and then I won't be quiet anymore. How about that? Slightly low? All right, how about I just do this? Hi, I'm slightly higher now.
I'm also
I was looking at the chat I was looking at the chat and people were saying YouTube wasn't working. We were muted for them. They don't know where the volume is on YouTube. It's right there.
I think some people troll and then some people just inept.
Yeah, that's why I just started. I was like, oh, okay, people don't know what they're talking about. I just stopped looking.
I do my best to ignore, but sometimes they get the better of me.
Right.
All right, so if you're watching the video version of this show, Bob and I sat at our little PC setups today, and we have the direct on our monitors, so we get to watch along and talk about it. But if you're listening to the audio, we'll still break down what we're looking at. And obviously, it starts with Pikmin 4.
We're just huge Pikmin fans here at the Nontendo Podcast, right, Wood?
I'm going to ignore that and say that we didn't say this yet, but we were right about pretty much all of it. I mean,
I want to go back and listen to what we said, but I mean, some of the stuff was obvious. Like, we knew about Pikmin 4 already.
But I think that's what gives our podcast episode a little bit more legitimacy, because we didn't go off the wall and predict things like Mario Baseball, which a lot of people were putting a lot of hopes in. We literally just stuck to what is most likely, and we nailed it all. There was just like one or two predictions, I think, or things we talked about possibly happening that didn't. Like we talked
threw
about
some things at the wall. Like there were some weird wackies that we did, but you got to do that. You gotta have a little fun.
Yeah, we had to, because we got through everything we thought would happen, and we were like, that sounds kind of boring. Let's throw in Donkey Kong.
Let's spice it up a little bit.
Let's try and spice it up with a random. But yeah, I think we did really good. And you even predicted the day. You were like, Wednesday would be great.
Yeah, and it was. Wednesday was a great day. It was I would have never predicted the time. 5 o'clock. That's so late.
Yeah. Oh, what a great time though. My God,
it was good because I didn't have to wake up.
I had my whole day. Okay, let's look at the direct. We're at Pikmin. So we did theorize that we might see more Pikmin. Here. Cute dog. I want to say, and this is not a slight, because I loved the third game. I had a ton of fun. I finished it on Wii U. This, to me, looks exactly like that game again.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by this at all.
Yeah,
but again, I'm not a big Pikmin fan, so I don't really. I'm just
the doggy Pikmin is new, which is cute, and then they showed Ice Pikmin, which is a new type of Pikmin. But both of those things could almost just be DLC for 3. Like I'm not really seeing anything in Pikmin 4 that's new, other than maybe whatever's happening on the screen right now with this. It's nighttime.
Yeah, the blood moon.
Like,
I thought this was like a Smash reveal or something, or like some crossover with Zelda.
It looks like
this was strange.
Possibly more brutal at night, more evil at night. And then we got the release date of July 21st, which we didn't have. And this is one thing I got wrong. I thought for sure this game was getting delayed. I'm just used to Pikmin getting delayed.
I knew it couldn't get delayed because it was already delayed. This game's been in development for like 9 years.
I know. That's why I had no faith. But it's nice. It's nice that it's coming out. It is more of a side view. It's not top down, which I think does give it a more adventure feel, and I do like that.
Right. If you want me to stop it all, let me know. I'm kind of just letting it roll because we're talking perfectly in conjunction with what's happening.
I know we're actually doing pretty good. Okay, well, let's keep going.
We got Xenoblade. And we got Mommy. I'm sorry, Mommy. Mommy, sorry.
So we have Xenoblade DLC.
Damn.
I am in occurrence. I do agree. I let this slip on my stream and in my video. I just straight out said I love Xenoblade 3. I'm sick of not making the video and not being able to talk about it. I had a ton of fun playing it, and I have been looking forward to the DLC. A lot of this DLC is like challenge modes, and you get to play. You can pick one character, see how far you can get on like boss rush style stuff. I'm not super into that, but I do love that they're adding content in for people who want to play this game forever. You know, they finish the story, but you can still play these challenge modes. But this here is sick. Bringing in Shulk and Rex, I believe.
Wait, no, I didn't see Rex.
Shulk? Was that not Shulk?
Wait, this guy?
No. Go back. Am I wrong? I'm going to bring up chat. Not Rex. I didn't mean to say Rex.
Did I not go back for it now?
That's good.
Oh, that's Shulk
right there. That's Shulk right there. That's first game Shulk.
I only know Shulk from Smash.
Am I wrong, chat? Bob's reaction made me feel wary.
I don't know. He just looks like an anime guy. I think they all look the same.
Who is this right here? Someone tell me who that is. Because he's holding Go back. The other guy, the blue guy, because he's not in the game. This guy. He's holding Pyra and Mithra, both
also,
blades in two
where's
hands.
his nose?
That is Rex. Well, Rex got hot. It is Rex. God dang. That looks nothing like Rex. All right, so I haven't finished.
Wait, is this Rex?
Yeah, maybe Rex gets a glow up.
What? I guess he gets older?
He's got a glow up. Look at this dude.
Oh, he's the Pyra-Mithra guy. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's holding Pyra and Mithra in his hands, which is kind of sick because I don't remember it being two blades. Like dual wielding two blades.
Mm-hmm.
And then the floating guy, I think I remember him from one of the games, possibly the one. I don't know. I'm bad at remembering lore and Xenoblade, but either way, DLC coming to that game. I'm gonna dive back in. I'm gonna have fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Samba de Amigo.
Yeah.
Yay!
I don't really have much to say about this.
At this point in the direct, I was like, okay, we're not. This is gonna be one of these, isn't it?
It gets a little from here. It
had a rough start. I will say,
yeah.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a Samba de Amigo game because the Joy-Con are perfect for maracas.
Well, we have it right here, right now.
It's
right here, right now. You want to play? Is it 2-play? You want to stream it with me?
This
on Twitch?
game better not be $60.
You want to do a little bit
of
$20
game. I don't want to buy this game at all. Actually, yeah, it is multiplayer online. It might actually be a sleeper hit. I don't know.
If it's Sega, I can probably get us codes. Sega's usually really good about handing out codes.
Yo, what's up, Sega?
I'll get you a code. We'll stream it.
Okay. I'm good for like a game or two of this because
I
do want to see a dirty 30 of this because I do want to see what's up with the Joy-Con because I think it actually could be relatively fun. At least like Taiko no Tatsujin, the little drum game.
I gotta be honest. Yeah, I thought Pikmin was huge for a lot of people, and I liked it, but I thought it was a huge reveal. Like, it's a first party. It's huge. I'm just not super into it. Then Xenoblade DLC, seeing Rex and Shulk, huge again. Maybe not more, a little bit more for me. Maybe not for me, but like huge as far as like, okay, we're getting good stuff in this direct. And they could have saved these for the end if they had nothing to show, but they're putting them first, which means things are coming. But then right after that, though, the next like 15 minutes, I was like, okay, wait,
baby.
The scales are tipping in the other direction now.
We got Fashion Dreamer. This game, I was trying to, have a good time, but I was like watching this and I was like, man, the Switch looks so bad right now. The frame rate of this random ass fashion game is horrible. You see all these like horrible, like jaggy, like polygons and stuff because it's so low resolution. And even Xenoblade kind of just looked, I was like, I'm not having it right now. They really need to add some. I was not, at this point in the direct, I was very disappointed.
We need Switch 2. That is for sure.
I'm skipping over this game.
It's fine. I love that Nintendo showcases these games and gives all games a platform regardless of how they may appear. But it does make it hard to defend and explain to people watching. No. This is we know how this looks. This is Nintendo being nice. Okay, we're getting the good stuff.
After this you told me about this. Dead Cells with the Castlevania DLC.
How sick does it look?
This looks awesome. This looks really good.
You get to use all of the old school weapons, the little flying crucifix, the whip. I don't know the names of any of it, but I played the games back in the day. The axe that you throw. They put all the weapons into the game, and then Simon and Belmont, I think, and then Dracula. I don't know.
That's one guy's name.
Simon Belmont. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wait, what's the other guy's name?
Richter.
They're
both Belmont.
I was gonna say they're both Belmont. My bad.
Yeah. But no, that looks awesome. That I haven't played Dead Cells since it launched. I want to play it again. That's a type of DLC that will get me to play the game again.
I told you I started it on my break because I wanted to gear up for the DLC.
Yeah. Next was Tron. I don't know why they're making so many Tron games. I really don't understand it. My brother was talking about this. He's a big movie guy. He was like, nobody actually likes Tron.
I mean, Tron. I like the idea of Tron.
You like Tron in the freaking 70s or whenever it came out, and then after that, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I don't want whatever this is. This doesn't look good to me. I don't know. And I'm into the weird stuff, and this just looks too out there even for me. So I don't know what's going on here. This isn't even the worst looking game though. There's one coming up that I think this.
I just am not interested. I think it visually looks nice. I just
the art
Tron.
is nice.
What do I care?
Yeah. The art's nice. This goes into the argument of like, is it a pretty picture or is it a video game?
So this, I have never heard of this game except for last week. It was one of the Guess the Games.
Was it really?
Yeah, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Guess the Game, by the way, for those playing at home, is a little game that Bob and I play. You can play it. What is it? Guessthegame.com or
Guess
something?
the .game. I got today's in one.
It's Wordle, but with video games. So they'll give you a screenshot of a game each day, and you have to try and guess it. And if you get it wrong, you get the next picture, and you get 5 screenshots to try and guess it. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's very good. And this one, I still don't really know what it is. It looks like a puzzle type game.
Hello, you should remind me at the end of the stream to bring up the Guess the Game, and I'll see if I can guess it in one too.
Okay.
Okay.
Chat, don't ruin this for me. I'm not sure. I don't want to say anything.
You can bring it up now if you don't want chat to ruin it, because I won't look at chat and you can bring it up.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Okay, let's do Guess the Game real quick.
All right, here it is.
I'm gonna minimize chat.
Here it is.
NBA Jam.
You got it.
Yeah, let's go. I love that game, dude.
I was a little worried because it's a retro game, but it's so obvious because it's an NBA game. You can very clearly see the court there.
That is one of the few Super Nintendo games that I absolutely loved when I was a kid. You could make the glass shatter, right?
Yeah, you like get a flaming ball.
Yeah, I love doing that.
They had this at the barcade in the city, and I went there with Piscini, and he doesn't play a lot of games, but we were going nuts playing NBA Jam, and he was horrible at it. But I kept losing on purpose because I was like, oh man, like trying to like like really hype it up, and he was like, yeah, F you, yeah. It was awesome.
Does he know?
No, I never told him that.
Where is that? I want to play.
At the barcade?
Yeah, where is it?
Oh, I have it on my arcade cabinet over here.
I thought you said in the city.
No, there's the barcade in the city. There's a couple of them. It's like a bar arcade.
I'm going to come over and play it so I don't have to go to a barcade.
Okay, or do that. I don't have much to say about Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I don't know much about it, but I'm willing to give it a try. It looks kind of cool.
Which one's that one? I can't see.
Sorry. That was the last one that we talked about.
Yeah. I love the art style. I don't know what's going on though.
Yeah. Next one. This one I think you said you liked. You were interested in it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I could easily see me not liking it though. I could see me getting bored of it or like not really gelling with it. But my interest is peaked to the point where I'm hoping that I like it. I keep saying this. I don't know if it's coming across, but it gives me Persona vibes, kind of in the battles and the character styles and the bad guy, the enemy characters and styles, and then just the weird and wacky about it all. But then obviously none of the life sim stuff, and there's running around in what looks like an open city. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm getting like Persona 3 vibes. Yeah,
I checked out. I was like, this is JRPG. I'm never gonna play this. It's called Deca Police. I think
Yes. It also looks like it's all in Japanese, which
it was all voiceover.
If there's no English option, that's interesting because like they have still not brought games like Yokai over, and other games that don't have English translations.
It could be just not ready yet, but
maybe
it's also possible they're just not gonna give us English translations.
It kind of looks like Yokai mixed with Persona.
I was thinking the world. What's that one? Neo: The World Ends with You.
That's more of a 2D game.
Is it?
But
the Neo one?
Yeah, I think so.
Neo was 3D.
No, I think it's 2D, unless I'm misremembering.
The original World Ends with You is 2D.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't played the new one. Maybe
Neo is 3D.
Oh, okay. I need to play that. And then your favorite game.
My favorite game. This doesn't look good anymore. You were right that you used that guy whose name's Cheshire.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not Cheshire. The announcer was calling him Cheshire, and then she was calling him Cheshire.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's an American Australian pronunciation to say Cheshire, but that's definitely how I grew up saying it.
Yeah. So you use that guy as like a Pokemon. So like
it's also definitely the same Cheshire from like Alice in Wonderland. Like the idea that's like the mythical beast that it is. But yeah, you use that to attack instead, which is similar to how it works in Bayonetta 3, except you would also be able to attack alongside it. Whereas in this case, Bayonetta is only able to hold things in place, which is interesting since she is such a combat-driven character. She can't do combat.
Yeah, I mean, I love the art style. I just
not.
This isn't my type of game.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like without even playing it, you can kind of just see how it plays. You know, like you'll be holding a button down a lot to hold things in place while something else attacks for you. I can't do that. I'm gonna be sitting there frustrated. Like, why are you attacking that guy and not that guy? You know, or even just like I would be frustrated because I wouldn't have control over the combos or when I wanted to. I don't know. I'll obviously play it because I play everything and I'll give it a shot. But I'm still, what I wanted to see out of that going into it was, why is this $60? And I still don't see that.
Yeah.
So
I'm not getting that. Next is Splatoon 3 expansion. This was cool.
It's cool, but I have a complaint.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's cool because they show you Inkopolis. You get to go back to the first game area.
Right.
That's cool. That's really cool. You know, great. I wanted to see new weapons. I wanted to see new modes. I wanted to see, like, what am I doing in this DLC? Like, am I just
back to Inkopolis and there's nothing new there. It's I mean, you get a lot of people didn't get to experience Splatoon 1 because it was a Wii U game, but all of the shops and everything, it seems like they just open the same shop that's in the regular hub world.
Yeah, like it's cool to go back, but
it's a skin. It's a skin over the world that you already have. So it's a little bizarre.
And even if you've played the game, you know that after a little bit, you stop running around and walking to places, and you just use the menus because you can just visit the stores by pressing like start, and then like you can right tab and just like slit through all of the stores. You don't even have to actually visit them. So it's cool to get the skin of a world to nostalgically go back to, but it doesn't give me anything. Like there's no reason to jump back in and keep playing. Like, yeah, I want a new mode. I want something in our favorite salmon run, like maybe some new boss types or different maps. Like, that's what I'm looking for. That's why I would want to go back to Splatoon. Personally.
Yeah, at first I was excited. Cool. At first I was excited, then I was like, wait, they said the stores are the same? Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah. And like, this is fun. Like, you can go and during Splatfest, you can see them perform little dances, and that's cute. Yeah. But that's not why I want to keep playing the game.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's
hopefully.
Also, I was sitting there screaming at the screen, waiting for them to announce that this was going to be part of the expansion pass.
Yes.
For Switch Online, and it's not, or at least they didn't announce that it was. So that was a little upsetting.
Yeah, since we're getting DLC for a lot of these games going to that expansion pass, making it more worth it. You know, something that we talked about last episode with me not seeing the value in a lot of these expansion and paying for the online, to get DLC and not have it go there is like, okay, well, now I got to pay for online and pay for the DLC. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, I did see that you were interested in this part. This part does look really cool. This is like the next expansion, the next wave of the expansion, which is the snowy world.
Yeah, I don't really see it as snow as much. I guess there is snow falling, but as like a colorless world, which is just an interesting dynamic for a game that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that until you said it. But no, it's definitely snow. But yeah, it's usually this game you see it's very colorful, and in this shot it's very stark white, and it's a very huge difference to what we usually see in Splatoon. So it looks really cool. Maybe it's a single player DLC similar to what the hell was it called in Splatoon 2, the subway world thing.
Well, it already has single player DLC. Maybe it's like an expansion, another area to that.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm saying.
Someone in my chat said maybe you paint the world, which is an interesting idea. Maybe not literally get your gun and spray on the walls, but maybe you do certain things in the game to bring color back to certain areas.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That'd be really cool.
It'd be interesting. I'm definitely more intrigued in that because it's new.
Yes. But will it bring me back to playing Splatoon? Probably not. This one's really cool. Disney Illusion Island. Guess why I like it?
Because it is a 2D platformer.
Yes.
And it looks a lot like Rayman. I told you would like this one, remember?
Yeah, no, I remember that. You and Jackson both said that I would like this. And it does look really good.
I also like the animation.
The animation's really... The cartoon that this is based off of, I only see clips of it, but it looks really funny. And the animation's really good. So this looks really good. People are comparing it to Cuphead, which I think is a little unfair because that's just the only other popular old style cartoon 2D platformer. This is reminding me of like the old like Disney and Warner Brothers Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo games, just with the newer art style.
Yeah, at first I was the one that brought it to you with the Cuphead comparison, but that's before I'd seen more than the art style. Now I'm just seeing Rayman. But it looks great. Also, yeah, speaking of it looking like the old Genesis and SNES games, I believe, isn't it called, this game right here is called Castle something, right?
Illusion. I just
Castle Illusion?
Disney Illusion Island.
Yes. So on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, I think, you had Mickey Mouse's Castle of Illusion.
Oh.
So I think
that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's to tie in more with the Illusion idea or whatever lore is there between those two games.
The only disappointing thing I saw here was that you see 4-player co-op, but they said local. They didn't say anything about online, which is upsetting because when am I going to have somebody sitting next to me to play that game with?
That sucks. That does suck.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's available July 28th.
You know why that sucks the most?
Why?
Because we could totally 4-player co-op that on Twitch.
Yeah.
That'd be a ton of fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Engage expansion pass. Do we care? Skipping right over that. And then we have this game. This game we also don't care about, right? This is
Wait. I don't want to upset anyone. Let's just say what it is. There are new characters from other Fire Emblem games coming to Engage. We've already given our thoughts on Engage, so we won't go into it more. But that's what that is if you didn't see the direct and you're trying to get the information from us. I don't know who any of the characters are.
You got that guy. You got that guy. You got that guy.
Yeah, the other guy. You got a girl. You got some people.
Yeah, check it out. You'll love it.
Also, apparently it's wave 2, so they've already had a wave of DLC since 20 days ago. I don't know what's happening over there, but cool.
I have absolutely
and it's out now. It's out now.
This game doesn't look very interesting. It's a narrative, like, I don't know. Indie game.
I agree.
Harmony, the Fall of Riviere.
I'm loving the visuals, I do have to say. The art style is sick, but
it is a very pretty game.
Yeah, it doesn't look very fun to play. I don't know what's happening.
I'm not interested in a narrative dystopian. I'm not reading. Get this out of here.
It does look unique. I'm sure it's one of them things like Coffee Talk that I still haven't got around to playing. That's probably really fun if you invest in it, but I just have a lot to play and this isn't for me.
Right. What about Octopath Traveler 2? How about that for you?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping, no spoilers, I'm hoping, because if you haven't played the first one, there's 8 characters, and you can pick any of them to play their stories in any order you want, right from the start.
Octopath.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea, especially when some of the characters cross paths, and you're like, oh, I'm glad I did this story before this story, or like, oh, now I want to do their story next. But in the first game, it didn't tie together very well at the end. All the paths felt completely separate right up until the end, which kind of felt unsatisfying. It's like, I want all of this to come together. So that's what I'm hoping to get from 2. If I'm going to invest back into this idea, I hope they find a way to have all these stories come together in a really cool way at the end.
Octopath Traveler awkwardly rolled right into Katamari Damacy.
That was such a good segue.
Thanks, man. Thanks, dude.
Yes, it did.
It looks.
Thoughts?
No. This game's been. This game's been on like every freaking platform. Like this game's been everywhere. It's just a relaunch. A port. So
I'm not big on Katamari. I've played the Switch one we have, and I had fun with it, but I don't know much about it. So we had the Switch one, which was a remaster or just a port of a PS2 Katamari.
Yeah, that's We Love Katamari, and that is a demo for Nintendo Switch Online members from the 20th to the 26th. So if you haven't tried that, you can try it for free if you have Nintendo Switch Online.
Wait,
I will.
I'm confused. So the demo is for the new game or the last game?
I heard the demo's for the last game.
Oh.
Oh no! Wait, no. It says Katamari Damacy Reroll, active for Nintendo Switch Online members. I've been lied to.
That's the last one.
Reroll?
Reroll was the last one, I'm pretty sure.
We Love Katamari Reroll. Oh, they're re-rolling We Love Katamari. That's what it is. Okay, so let me explain.
What is
explain.
Re-roll?
I got it.
Is Reroll remaster?
There's 2 re-rolls. I got it figured out, okay?
The
one that they're talking about here is We Love Katamari Reroll.
That's the new one.
It's a remake of an older game that we haven't had on the Switch yet.
What console was that on? PS2?
I think it was also on PS2.
Okay.
Then and for some reason, even though it was a PS2 game, frames are dipping like crazy. I don't know what that's about, but
I know. It's Switch.
The demo is for Katamari Damacy Reroll, the original Katamari game. Okay,
that was the last one that came out.
Yeah, that one for the Switch.
Yes,
that is now available to play, or February 20th, it'll be available for Nintendo Switch Online members to play as a demo.
Okay. Not like the whole one. It'd be cool if it was the whole game. Like, for like a weekend or something, you could play the game. They've done that before, right?
It might be. It just says game trials. So it might be the whole game. I'm not sure.
Because I think they did that with did they do that with Mario and Rabbids? There was a game that you could play for a weekend if you had Switch Online.
They did do it with the original Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they gave you that reroll for the weekend to lead up to the new one. But either way, okay, 2 remasters. They're calling them rerolls, and this is a new one of another PS2 game. But the confusing part is they showed a demo of the last one.
That's where my brain broke. Yeah.
Okay. It broke mine too. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't played much Katamari. So other than like in like the Sears like demo area. Like back in the 90s, whenever the game came out.
That's a memory I wish I had.
So I'll try the demo. I'd like to play that.
Someone in chat said, we talk about $7 Tears of Kingdom yet? No, I really want to, but remind us to do it when we get to Zelda.
Oh, we'll definitely be talking about that.
Yeah, I haven't talked about that yet outside of my stream last night.
Sea of Stars. I think I blacked out when this was going on. I don't even remember this at all.
It has a demo right now, I'm pretty sure, or it's out right now. I can't remember. I like the art style. It's like a Metal Slug meets Octopath Traveler 2D kind of vibe. My only issue is there are a plethora of JRPGs on the Switch, especially this year. For the last 2 years, really. I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. I can't handle it. This looks great, but I have a billion other JRPGs that I've thought have looked great, and I can't keep up. I'm still playing Persona 5 Royal. I need time.
This game, Omega Strikers, I heard is really good. I think it's free to play. So
at first, I looked at that and I was like, oh, great, another mobile kind of game. And then I started to pay attention to it closer. It looks like a MOBA. It's a MOBA, but as a air hockey.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon Unite or Dota, League of Legends, Valorant, take your pick, where you have these abilities, but they've put it into an air hockey kind of thing.
Also, it's interesting that you can get knocked out of the goal area. So if you're trying to be a goalie and defend your goal, you can get kicked into the goal and explode. So it's dangerous to defend your goal. I think that's kind of a cool thing.
It's like a Smash animation too.
It reminds me of Smash air hockey.
It's really interesting. If you go back a little bit there, just 10 seconds, what I'm talking about with the abilities, someone put up a wall there, kind of hoping something, and then they activated it, and then as the ball came down, it shot it in. And it's stuff like that where my gears start turning, and this is why I love MOBAs and why I love playing Valorant. It's the abilities, and you only get certain abilities at certain times. So you have to very strategically, like a chess game, place your abilities and stuff like that. I am a sucker for. It's also why I love card games. I love strategic stuff. So that at first I looked at that game and I was like, oh god, next. But then as it went on, I was like, I might play this a lot actually.
I think Moist Critical he invested like a ton of money into that game. Like he played it and then just dumped like a bunch of money into it for some reason.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And now it's on Switch. And I'm pretty sure it's free to play. Anyway.
Does it have a release date? Did it say the release date?
I want to say it's out.
It's out?
No.
It didn't say.
Yeah, what the hell?
We need a release date for that one. Number one, look at Nintendo Direct, number one on trending right now, 20 hours later.
Damn.
Direct's got so much hype.
They should monetize their channel.
Is it not monetized?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's not.
My reaction to it is 16 on trending right now. Not even gaming trending, on actual trending, which shows how much hype there is and expectations there are behind Nintendo Directs. And we haven't said this yet, but I feel like as far as Directs go, this is one of the very few that I've seen 99%, if not 100% of people are on board with, yeah, this was a good one.
I literally just saw somebody in chat go, sucked. Direct bad.
99% of people said this is a good one.
I don't know how you could say it was bad unless you stopped watching at this point in the direct that we're at right now. If you stopped here, then I could see why you would say.
I could see that.
Omega Strikers is not out yet, by the way. And April 27th. I don't know why I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, that's not too far away. I've said this a few times, but this is one of them ones where if you don't like it or you think it's bad, I just question if you're a Nintendo fan or if you're a fan of just a certain property or game that Nintendo has and you're hoping to see that. Like, you just love F-Zero. But if you're like a Nintendo fan,
bad out there for F-Zero, guys.
It's bad. Well, you did get an F-Zero today, but we'll get there. If you're a Nintendo fan, though, I mean, there's so much spray all over the map here. Pikmin, Xenoblade, Zelda, Game Boy. Like, we'll get there, but there's so much spray for Nintendo fans.
Stop saying spray.
There's so much wet, moist spray coming at you.
The Labyrinth beckons. Wow.
This is not a good transition from what I just said. Can we not go straight into this?
I was literally sleeping here.
This looks rough, my guy. The fact that it's a remake or remaster too, they've redrawn the characters and
they're all PNGs. Enemies. You're just looking at PNGs.
Yeah, and they're good looking PNGs, but it's about the only thing they redid. The visuals look rough. The menus look like they were mocked up in Microsoft Word and Paint. I don't really understand. Look at that. What is that?
Yeah.
You can't redo some of this if you're going to do a remaster. I'm sorry if you're a fan of this game. I just don't think that collection was done justice in 2023.
No, that's rough.
Yeah.
And then next we got, well, everybody knew we were going to get Advanced Wars. But, so this is Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Recamp, whatever. Reboot Camp. Recamp is very problematic. but we knew this was going to happen because this game was delayed for like a long time because of the war in the Ukraine. And which
I believe isn't over.
No, but they were just, I guess they were sick of waiting, so they're just dropping it. But we were expecting this to be a shadow drop, and it's not.
It was rumored to be a shadow drop, but I was thinking about that actually after we talked about it. The day after I went into GameStop and I saw your pre-order Advance Wars, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a physical. They're not going to shadow drop something that has a physical release or it has been on pre-order with a physical release for so long. That seems really disingenuous.
Okay, so that's a good point, but there is a game in here that did that. There's a game in here that did shadow drop with
I know what game that is, and I'm excited for the physical.
I don't remember what
Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
but my thing with that is they announced that today. It was like there was no lead up. People haven't been waiting for it. They haven't had something on pre-order, and they don't have to, because if for me, who's had Advance Wars on pre-order for the good side of 6 months, if it shadow dropped and I'm like, oh, well, it's out now, but I've already bought it. I've already pre-ordered it. Like, what am I waiting for this game now? When you shadow drop something the day you announce it, at least there's no expectation there. It's out now. You can grab it or you can wait for the physical. I think with a game like this, that's been expected to be on the shelves day one for so long, I think it's disingenuous to be like, we're going to shadow drop it today digitally, but you still have to wait for the physical.
Yeah. If you pre-ordered the physical, you'd be pretty upset about that. At least with Metroid, people... I mean, it kept showing up on store fronts, but those were all mistakes. Those pre-orders probably got refunded and stuff. I'm getting shit for saying the Ukraine. What the fuck?
Why are you saying the Ukraine?
I don't. It was a mistake, but it shouldn't be a big deal.
Did you say the war in the Ukraine?
I did.
That's interesting.
Is that a? I'm not getting into that.
That's a very you live in the United States of America, so everywhere else must be that's a very American thing of you to say.
Yeah, you're right.
So how was your travel from the Australia?
Yes. Anyway, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. We knew this was happening, but this we're seeing like a whole new mode where you're playing as a different guy.
Yeah, is that a new mode? Is that what they were showing you?
Listen, my chat lied to me before about something else. So they could be lying about this. Magalore Epilogue. This seems new.
I kind of zoned out here, but if it is new, that's actually interesting because I'm so used to these deluxe editions not actually having anything worthy of calling them deluxe. I did pick up that you start as this little character. He has no abilities, and the more things you kill and more you explore, you start to unlock your abilities again, which that's interesting. I like the concept. I'm still not buying it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but I do like the idea of playing as this guy as something new. Also, you can do 4-player co-op and everybody can play as this guy
online.
You know, I just assumed that, and I gotta stop assuming that because this is Nintendo.
If it's online, that's where me playing becomes more likely because I will stream it with you guys if you guys want it. Because I like doing it. That is fun. I think people really enjoy watching us do that too, and I have more fun doing that than playing something like this on my own. He just Kamehameha'd the crap out of.
I know he's literally like he gets like thrown in this world with none of his powers. He has to gain all of his powers back, and in doing so, he just kills everything in this new world he just showed up in. Ruthless.
Hey, that's the life.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. Hopefully it's like, changes the difficulty a little bit, makes the game a lot different. But
people
otherwise...
are saying in chat it's a new mode after you beat the game. So
then we'll never play it.
I will never experience that, but I like that they added it.
Yeah.
Anyway. They specifically say local as well, local only. So we are not buying that game. They have lost 4 sales from us.
Jesus Christ, man.
What is it with, I don't like, is it an insane expectation? Why are all these 4-player co-op games not online? When do you ever in 2023 post-COVID have 4 friends in your house at the same time? By the way, Bob, are you still coming to Super Bowl? Because
I'm not coming.
Ham, Biscuits, and Scoot will be.
I'm not coming. You know what it is? They're going to add online multiplayer. We're going to play it and we're going to go, why is the online so bad?
Yeah, we are.
So they're just getting in front of it by just not. They're like, you know what? You guys complain so much, you don't get it anymore.
I know. You have to imagine sales would increase if it had it, though. And it doesn't. Is the infrastructure that hard to add?
It shouldn't be, but theirs is so bad that they have to screw with it every time.
So if Nintendo's infrastructure is so bad, and I know this sucks, I know no one wants to hear it, but what if they started charging us for their online so that they could improve it more?
They do that. That's a thing they do. But you know what? It pays off because now we finally get Game Boy Advance games. Yay!
Game Boy!
Yay! I wasn't expecting Game Boy Advance.
I know. I was gonna say as soon as I saw this, I said, Bob's losing his mind right now. I really hope we get Game Boy Advance next. Like I said those words as this was happening, and then I got to lose my mind.
I wouldn't have expected I would have bet this would have been it. So
I didn't expect both.
I got blown away twice.
They
got some good games here too.
They actually do. A lot of my chat was saying, "Oh, but Game Boy games suck." Nah, my guy. A lot of these are pretty dang fire. We get to play the original DX, which is still fantastic. I think the remake they did on Switch was the superior version, but this is still such a fun game. But it's the coming soon games that absolutely had me rolling. in
Yeah.
the Game Boy part.
Oh, they don't have coming soon here. I brought up the web page. The games that we have now that you could play because they just dropped right after the Direct. You got Tetris, which I think might have been my first game that I ever played.
It came with the Game Boy. It was everybody's first game. Yeah, most people's first
It was
game.
either this or the original Mario. I don't remember because I was 1. Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, not the first one, which is fine because the first one isn't that good. Then we get Metroid 2, which is good.
Yeah, I love Metroid 2 and Mario Land 2 and Zelda DX are my 3 here.
Yeah. Kirby's Dream Land, which is great. First Kirby game.
Yeah.
Alone in the Dark.
So random.
Very random. Japan didn't get that. They got a different game. I forgot which one it is.
And interestingly, if you make a Japan account on your Switch and then load up this app, you get access to those games too. So you can play. It's cool going between my Australian account and my NES account for certain things because there's so many regional differences in cover art and cases and a couple of games and then like Genesis and Master System stuff. So it's really cool that you can do that.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, let me know what the Japanese game is. I forgot. It's not anything we're going to... Oh, it's Mahjong. It's just a Mahjong game.
I don't know why Japan gets all the good stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Alone
in the Dark looks
we
good,
get Alone in the Dark and they get Mahjong.
It looks pretty good. At the time, it was just a port of the, PlayStation version or whatever, but they like kept some of the 3D on a friggin' Game Boy Color game.
Yeah,
so
it's
it
really
looks
interesting.
Really good for a Game Boy Color game. Game & Watch Gallery 3, not interesting at all. Gargoyle's Quest is supposed to be one of the best Game Boy games. So
wow, I have never heard of it.
It's the Gargoyle. I thought this was like Disney's Gargoyle. It's actually the Gargoyle from Ghouls and Ghosts, I think.
Oh, that's random. Random he got a spinoff.
I know. So I'm interested. I literally was just talking about how I wanted to play this game right before the Direct happened when we were speculating what Game Boy game. So that's cool. And Wario Land 3 is... I haven't played much of Wario Land 3, but I always pop it into my Game Boys when I'm like showing off a Game Boy because it looks really pretty. So.
I have never played a Wario Land game, but I have heard they're really good. So that's another great one to get. And funny enough, when we were doing our last episode talking about what games could possibly come to this service, I said just that. I was like, a Wario Land game would be sick because I'd love to play one, and I've heard really good things about them.
Yeah, we were thinking there might be a new one. We might get a new Wario Land.
Yeah, I think we should get one because the other Wario games I don't like. The WarioWare, not for me. Yes! Oh my gosh. So this is incredible. Oracle of Ages and Seasons, 2 fantastic games. This is back when they were trying to do a Pokemon thing where they had 2 separate releases of the same game with like some differences between them. Yeah. And I think you get some kind of benefit for playing both. I can't remember offhand. I only ever played Seasons when I was younger. And I loved it. And then the Pokemon trading card game, which is also straight fire, and I have so much nostalgia for playing that game. I've never played Tilt and Tumble, but people seem pretty excited for that too.
Yeah, so I'm most interested in Tilt and Tumble because they have to do a little bit of something. They need to make the gyro work. So it can't just be the ROM farted onto the Nintendo Switch. They have to, make it work. Trading card game, I'm interested in that. I'll play that. People are upset, of course, because there's no Pokemon games. The most interesting games would be just the actual Pokemon. I hope they release like a pack or something. Like even if it's not just part of Nintendo Switch Online, they got to put the original Pokemons in some capacity.
I'm reading chat, and I was half listening to you, but I'm reading chat, and they said that Seasons and Oracles are actually different games. So I, as a kid, assumed that they would be similar and have some differences between them. But again, I only ever played Seasons. So yeah, apparently they're different games. And that's really cool because this is one of the rare occasions where there's a Zelda game that I haven't played. I have never played Ages. So yeah, that's
play
really
both
cool. I'm
for the ultimate adventure. That's what it says on the bottom.
They're based in the same, someone said they're based in the same story, same storyline, but they're different games. Did they not come out like the same day though?
They did. It looks like they did.
They made 2 games at the same time. That's
you have to play both to get the Master Sword, says Jake OP. How does he know? How does it know that you played both?
How did the original Game Boy know? Is my question.
You would have to link cable, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess. The Switch knowing that's easy. I mean, you can just do save files now.
Yeah. Well, that's more development they need to do to make
that
it
is.
work.
But I mean, they're also like adding in online to some of these games too, which they're doing a lot of extra coding in these games, which is really cool and interesting to see. There's a code.
There's a code which you could just freaking open up your Game Informer and type in the code. That's
you could just you could just ask a friend for their code.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're getting for original Game Boy, which I think is pretty solid. It's a pretty solid lineup, and there's a lot more room for them to add stuff. Then we got our socks blown off again because we got Game Boy Advance, which has a better library.
My reaction live to this was probably one of my favorite reactions I've had while streaming something, because it had just left Metroid. I was already literally slumped on my floor asking chat for a towel. No, sorry. This happened. I got it back.
This happened first. Yeah.
Yeah, this happened first. And then I was slumped on the floor after this. And then it just snapped into Metroid. But my reaction for this too, when this hit, was also really hype.
Yeah.
I loved this Direct. This was so cool. Game Boy Advance is the game, the console I've wanted on the Switch this whole time they've been doing this stuff.
So you got Minish Cap.
Yes, which I love Minish Cap. It's a Zelda game made by Capcom. It's really unique. It's really interesting. I love that game a lot.
So I got Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, which I literally just downloaded, and I was literally going to stream it tonight, regardless of what was going to happen, just because
really
I was thinking to myself, and I was like, there hasn't been a 2D Mario game in a while. I've played all of them, right? And then I remembered that this game had the e-reader functionality, and it has 38 additional levels. And I love Super Mario Bros. 3. It's one of the games I grew up with. And this is basically DLC for Super Mario Bros. 3. Because it's not like a remake or anything. It is straight up Super Mario Bros. 3 that they just added 38 levels to that you could only play with an e-reader.
How does it look compared to the NES version? Does it look
the same? It's literally the exact same.
But with like 30 extra levels?
Yeah. So it's literally DLC for Super Mario Bros. 3, an NES game, and
that's really cool.
Or like Nintendo made ROM hacks. It's freaking awesome. And there's like there's Charles Martinet is like voicing Mario in this too. It's very strange. But yeah,
that's really cool.
I was gonna stream this tonight no matter what anyway, because I just got the ROM for it, and then now I can just play it on my Switch.
Nintendo really helped us out right now, huh? Like they knew I was coming back from break. They knew you had content planned, and they were like, just those Nintendo guys, they gotta get a helping hand.
Yeah. And I played one of the levels, and it's awesome. It's very difficult.
For those that don't know what the e-reader cards were, they were, and you're going to have to help me here, they were this attachment that you could plug into the Game Boy, and it was like a credit card swiper, and then you could get these cards, and you're going to have to tell me where you got them from. I can't remember.
I had to look it up. I couldn't really find much information, but it looks like you could just buy them at GameStop. But yeah, it's literally a pack of cards.
Yeah, and you swipe them on the e-card reader on your Game Boy, and it will unlock things for your games. I don't know how any of it worked, but it wasn't just for this game. There was a bunch of games that utilized the e-card reader feature, right?
Yeah. So this isn't the first time that this game has been released with all of those levels. It was part of the Wii U Virtual Console. So it's we've seen it before, but I didn't get a chance to play it back then. So I want to play it now. I don't want to break out the Wii U, so now I can play it on this.
Was this the first instance of like paid DLC in video games?
I don't want to say that because I feel like there's
Game Boy Color. So what? I mean, what else could there have been? This is like pre.
Oh no, it's Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance, right? So what year is that? Like early 2000s?
Yeah, this is 2003. There's probably like a PC game.
Okay.
That, like, you know, they had expansion packs and stuff for PC.
This is still really early. You know, buying a little trading card that's essentially DLC for a game. Super interesting.
This is an aside, but do you remember when Rogue Squadron came out and then they released episode 1 and they were like, by the way, if you type in this code, you get the Naboo Starfighter. And it was like, what do you mean? The game I have? I can get the thing that was just revealed?
Uh-huh.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, that was sick. I remember that. Yeah.
Anyway, Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga.
I've never played the original, but I have played the
Neither have
3DS
I.
one. It was a lot of fun. This is essentially what Nintendo did after Super Mario RPG.
Right.
If for those that have ever wanted a sequel to that game, this was kind of their answer to it. They made this whole series that now has multiple games in it called Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yeah, so they just remade one for the Switch, didn't they? Oh my god. I just looked up a list of Mario and Luigi games. And here's the list, and at the bottom it says 2019 Alpha Dream declares bankruptcy.
Ooh.
I thought that was the name of a game or something.
Mario and Luigi Alpha Team declares bankruptcy. Yeah, they're remaking. They've remade a couple that were on 3DS, and even on 3DS, I think they were remaking some, and it would be like the old game plus something new they've added. I gotta be honest, I don't know what is happening in this series. I don't know what the revamps are, what the additions are. I just know that I played Bowser's Inside Story on 3DS plus Bowser's Minions on 3DS, and I had a ton of fun. So
did they not remake one for the Switch? I thought they did.
There has not been one on the Switch yet. No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
I thought they took one and ported it or something. I'm having a stroke. So this is the first time Nintendo's like acknowledging Mario Luigi since 3DS, which is a pretty big deal.
And as far as I know, the 3DS ones again were plus something, so they were kind of like remasters as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's where my wires are getting crossed.
I don't think they've made a new one in a hot minute. I don't know when like the new one.
Okay.
I don't think there's been a new since GBA. I think they've been like plussing things to it for a long time.
3DS got Mario and Luigi Paper Jam Bros.
Okay, so that was the last new one then.
I think.
And that doesn't sound like it sold well based on Paper Jam.
They remade it on 3DS when the Switch was around still. Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
That's where my wires are getting crossed.
I was sent that that might have been the last thing Nintendo sent me when I was on the ambassador program, was that 3DS game and Miitopia.
So I think it's a huge deal that they're at least acknowledging that this franchise exists.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the series, yeah.
Then we got Mario Kart Super Circuit, which is good. I mean, everybody likes Mario Kart, but me and Jackson played this. I know you wanted to play it. It's not fun. It's not good.
I still want to play it.
It's bad. It's very bad.
They added online, and this is freaky, man. Like, it was freaky with the N64 Mario Kart that they went in and they made it online. That just trips me out so much. But to have a GBA game that I can now play with my friends on Twitch online, this is what I love about what they're doing with this service, because they're not just slapping the games on here. They're actually doing some fun stuff. It's so wacky.
Yeah, we it is weird because like in the other consoles, like we played N64 Mario Kart just to try the online, and we were also having a rough time there because it is an old game. Mm-hmm. But
I remember it being not too bad.
In that case, no, you were not having fun.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. That sounds like me.
Those games are supposed to be couch co-op. You're supposed to be next to the person. So, like, it's a weird thing where you, like, kind of remote into the other person's instance, and you're both playing on, like, I was playing on your Switch, basically. In this case, you need 2 Game Boy Advances to play the game. So, you, it's very strange the way they hacked it together. Like, Jackson created the instance. I joined his like instance of the Nintendo Switch Online app. He opened Mario Kart, and then it said, okay, now you both have control. And then I had my own game. He had his own game. We linked together, and then we played Mario Kart.
That is really weird.
It was very strange, and it's very rough because it's a friggin'...
So was the game rough because the game didn't age well, or is it rough because the online is rough?
The online was fine. It was rough because the game didn't age well. It controls really hard. I bet you it would be fine if I was playing this on a freaking GBA, but I'm not. I'm playing it on the system that has Mario Kart 8, and I'd rather play Mario Kart 8.
I still can't wait to play it. Hey, Ham and Chat is in chat. Hey, Ham.
Oh, hello, Ham.
Hey, Ham, Bob just said he's coming to Super Bowl Sunday.
No, he did not do that.
See you then, Ham.
Next game. Say it with me now. Say it. Say it with me. Kudu-rin. You didn't. I noticed you didn't say it. I noticed you didn't say it at all.
You cut the screen. I didn't know what game was next. You cut back and then you said it.
Kudu-rin. Kudu-rin.
Kudu-rin.
Kudu-rin. I don't know anything about this game.
I don't know anything about it.
Apparently it has multiplayer.
A little bit of gameplay. Okay, let's do it.
WarioWare Inc. also. That's cool. That I might actually play.
I'm not fussed. But again, the games that are up and coming are super interesting here.
Yeah. Oh, I have to go to the end. Shoot. Oh yeah, baby. Metroid Fusion. I think that might be the best Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. But the biggest surprise here was them acknowledging Golden Sun. That is wild. I lost it at that point, just like so many points right here. Even also acknowledging F-Zero. But
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. But Golden Sun, like, I think the only time that's been acknowledged so far since we've had Switch is in Smash. They added Golden Sun as like stickers somewhere in like the single player game.
And an assist trophy too.
And that's it. But now the actual game is going to be playable on Nintendo Switch. This game, if you don't know what this game is, I barely remember it. Okay, I'm excited to play it for what I'm going to call the first time because I think a friend of mine had it. I remember liking it, but it has had such a cult following and people begging for a remake, a remaster, a sequel, something. It's one of those games like Mother that has had this cult following for years, and it's been like dragging nails on a chalkboard trying to get Nintendo to even acknowledge its existence.
I'm glad you brought up Mother, because I think that there's a very big possibility that Mother 3 finally gets an English port.
I think that'll be a direct announcement all on its own. It'll be like...
I think it'll be dropped in like E3 time. And
yes, I was about. That's why I said you go, because I knew you had it. I was about to say I think we're going to be watching E3, and it's going to be a single standalone announcement. It's going to cut to black, and you're going to hear like, and then it's just going to drop on you, and it's going to become a Nintendo Switch Online available later today or something, and then we'll have Mother on Switch.
We also have Fire Emblem and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror coming at some point. They don't say when. But
yeah, who cares?
Important to note that Game Boy Advance requires the expansion pack, and a regular Game Boy does not.
Good note. If you're just paying like the $3 a month or the whatever base plan, you get Game Boy. If you've paid the $50 extra, you'll get GBA. I think that's totally fair, honestly. I think adding more content to the paid... The extra paid makes sense, and I think not charging for stinky Game Boy games makes sense. So yeah, I agree.
So that was biggest news to me. That was a lot of my good time for this direct. But in case you didn't have time to change your pants, because now here we are.
I was on the floor
Metroid
asking for a change of pants. That they said Metroid coming, and it took like 10 seconds for me to even register what they had just said. Yeah. This right here is my moment of the direct. This is something that I've been dying for. There's so much to talk about here. I will say the GBA stuff is a close second, though. Like, those two announcements back to back are wild.
This literally saved this. What is this? Like 5 minutes? Literally saved the whole direct.
This is the direct right here. I didn't need the rest.
Yeah.
I don't know where to begin with this. I'll start by saying it is gorgeous. Actually, do you mind if you talk for a hot minute, because I'm gonna.
You want to pull up
bring up the comparison.
I have one.
Oh, thank you.
Ready to go.
Because I was actually watching it while pooping this morning, and I didn't get too far into it. But even just looking at the opening cutscenes and the opening of her landing on that ship there that we just saw, wildly different. Different. Go back to like.
So sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
But yeah, when it starts panning from the planet, even go back even more, my guy.
Oh my god!
Because it's okay. That's too far.
We'll sit here.
Here. Okay, look. Look, it's wild how much they've done. This is going to be a visual. I'm going to have to explain this for the audio listeners. I mean, they've changed.
Right now on the remaster, there's a whole galaxy, and on the left, there's just dots in the sky.
Yes, they've added a whole galaxy. The planet has a whole new texture that they've added to this planet here that you can see wasn't there before. But look at the ship differences. You've got like things junked out of the ship on the right. This isn't just a remaster. This isn't just a HD port. They've added things. Look at the wires coming off the ship. They've got rid of the old polygonal
There's a lot
wires.
more detail on the,
in
the whole environment.
It's almost a remake. Like, do you get into these conversations sometimes with what's a remaster, what's a remake, what's a blah, blah, blah. This is like a weird hybrid of a remaster and a remake.
I don't think they called it a remaster. I don't think it's a remaster at all. I think they completely redid it.
I think they could have called this something else, a re-something, a reskin, I don't know, but
they should have done a Nintendo thing and called it something different. But I do think this is a remake on par with Demon Souls for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
because they completely redid it, but made it feel exactly like the original.
Look at the shadows and the lighting effects in the new one. Look at the glow and the gloss on her outfit and her suit. Like the textures of everything. They've remade so much. But at the same time, it's a one-for-one like remaster as far as like the animations and the pacing and all of that. Like, it's wild, dude.
I was looking at the comparisons, and I was looking at like people talking about how like the raindrops will flow in different directions on the gun, like depending on where you're holding it, and all of these lighting effects and crazy stuff.
The lighting on a gun right here.
Do you really think they took the original game and the original game engine and just patched it up to make it look this good? I think that they completely reworked the whole thing in a brand new engine. Or at least added so much that it's unrecognizable now.
It's not the same game. I think that's clear just looking at it. It's
Kiwi in the chat says it's a re-roll.
It's a re-roll. It's so clearly not the same game. There's too many things that have been stripped out and changed. And like everything, every asset is different, but then placed back in the same place. I don't know how developing games on this level goes. And my knowledge does not extend that far. The thing is, for me, is everything looks different. Everything looks better. Everything from the HUD to the lighting to the textures to the assets look completely different. But all the animations and the pacing and the cutscenes are all exactly the same with these new animations. Like it's a 1-for-1. Like, is it that easy to recreate something from scratch and match it this closely with no differences?
I mean, I don't want to say completely from scratch. Maybe they took some of the animations, but just put new assets on top of them, like rigged them differently. But
love and care, man.
The environments are completely different. There's so much more detail in them, and I don't think you can take a GameCube game with the GameCube engine and just throw stuff on top of it. I think that there has to be environment artists that go through the whole game. That's not exactly what a remaster is.
Look at that right there. I know I don't want to yell over you, but can you go back a little bit?
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but I'm amazed. Look at the differences in those two models right there. One is just like a silhouette on the left, and the other one is fully textured and detailed.
Yeah, there's some lighting issues, I think, in their original in GameSpot's like original capture here. It seems like very dull, which I think is like
I can see that.
That seems like a game capture issue. But also, like, there's not a lot of. I guess there are some whites. There are some whites. But yeah, there's like the flames are completely different, added and new and stuff.
Yeah, somebody in my chat while I was playing said, "How is this $40 though? Like why are they charging so much for an old game?"
I know exactly how, because they're gonna charge $40 for the second one, and then they're gonna charge $100 for all three of them.
There's a lot of conversation there, but I mean, I don't know about you, but is 40 not fair for the amount of work they've done here? Like, I'm happy it's not 60. Like, we had a Skyward Sword HD, which was literally just a HD slap and paste of Skyward Sword, where they added some new controls, and that was about it. And that was 60. This is only 40 for like a whole what looks like a remake.
I think 40 is more than fair, especially if they're going to keep making more of them. The only thing that's disappointing is that this is a GameCube game, and I think this is more evidence that we're never going to get a GameCube Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, I think that goes into, I mean, what they can obviously make money out of, but also how hard it is to emulate GameCube. And I mean, even just how rough GameCube is looking these days. I think I don't know, it's kind of nicer to get them this way, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that when game studios are developing new games, especially from older stuff, like a new game in a franchise as old as Metroid, I've seen they usually like to or it seems to me that they try to remaster old games as like kind of a test to see how they could, like freshen it up and then use that as a jumping off point to make the new game. Mm-hmm. So this could be evidence of that. This could be them reworking it in like a new engine and like this is what they will use to make the new game or something like that. And if that's the case, it's going to look fantastic.
I agree. I wish they had redone the map because they completely redid the controls. Like, yeah, look, right here. This is cool too, the way they have that model of the Switch in here now. There's 4 different control schemes, kind of things you can choose between. There's full new controls for a Pro Controller or Joy-Con. There's GameCube adapted controls. There's motion controls, and then there's a balance between motion and the new normal controls. So I don't know. They've just done a lot of work here. I really love it.
How are the controls? Like, what did you use when you played?
Oh, great. I just used it came stock standard with the new whatever is like for Pro Controller, Joy-Con. I thought it handled fantastic. I had no reason to try messing with it.
Did you use motion at all?
No, I'm not a big fan of motion in general, so I didn't. But
because I'm assuming that the collection on the Wii had motion.
I don't remember. Yeah, I would assume so. You have lock-on. There's like a feature in this game. So that's what they're doing there and the gameplay we're seeing. So I don't really see a need to motion when you just lock straight on anyway.
That's true. Yeah, I heard that there's an issue with the original controls similar to like GoldenEye where one of the axes is like inverted or something weird. So
I didn't notice and I don't play inverted. So
well, you didn't play the original like
the GameCube controls. Right. The other conversation here is obviously for like 4 years now, we've been told this little rumor secret whispered in our ears that the Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch is ready to go. But they've been delaying it because they don't know when Prime's come and the 4's coming out. And they're going to drop it random. I guess that's been a lie, or maybe the plans changed. Maybe they had an idea of doing a pack and they had just the 3 ROMs slapped on there. And at some point they were like, how about we just remaster them instead? I don't know what happened there, but that's clearly not happening.
I'd like to subscribe to the fact that everyone's just full of shit. That everyone who talked about this is just absolutely, they don't know anything. They just made it up. But no, it's possible that they changed the plan. That it was originally going to be a trilogy, and they were like, nah, we can make bank.
I can definitely see them thinking Prime was coming out years ago. Prime 4 was coming out years ago, and thinking they would have time to slap 3 games on a cartridge, $60, the old games, get it out a year beforehand, because that's all quick stuff, right? In time for 4. I think at a point where they realize Prime 4 isn't coming out, possibly even on Switch, where they go, well, then let's hold off on the trilogy because we could make more money this way. There could also be a way where they were like, we're having such a hard time coming up with what 4 is going to be. How about we start by messing around with the first game? We dive back in there.
I was just going to say, while you were talking, I was like, now I have a theory. I think they probably had a trilogy on par with the All-Stars Mario collection, like Mario Sunshine, literally just a port of the Metroid Prime trilogy from the Wii. And when they decided to redo the whole game, and that was probably going to launch right when, somewhere around the time that Metroid Prime 4 was going to launch originally. And then they had all the development issues, and then Retro took it and was like, why don't we take this thing and rebuild it and try to see what we can work with? And they started tinkering with it, and they're like, you know what? We can rework all of these games pretty easily. Yeah. Not easily, but like we can rework one, and then all the rest of them will be pretty easy. And then they reworked that, and then they decided they could sell them for more, and then they can use that as a jumping off point for Metroid Prime 4. That's what happened. We figured it out.
I think that's entirely possible. Who made this remaster?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think it says. I mean, it says retro in the beginning, but
Chat.
that could just be
know?
from the original game.
Because if Retro made this remaster, I think that's 1000% what happened. I think they were diving on in to see what they could do. Retro Studios and Iron Galaxy. I think that's what happened, buddy. I think we hit the nail on the head.
So what does Iron Galaxy do?
I'm sure Iron Galaxy took up the role of, oh, we are also working on this Prime 4, so we're going to need help. And Iron Galaxy probably did a lot of the heavy lifting to help them out. Like a
You know what they did
studio.
recently? Rumble versus.
That's interesting.
Yep.
They in that case, they are definitely the support studio here. They supported them.
They do a lot of ports. The last one they did was Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. They also did Overwatch on the Switch.
Okay, yep. So support. They helped get it running and working on Switch and did a lot of that heavy lifting there. That's super interesting. I think that's definitely what happened. I think
it would be crazy if Iron Galaxy did the heavy lifting, because it looks so different than the original. I would expect Retro did some tinkering and they were like, hey, Iron Galaxy, we kind of just made everything nice and fresh. Here's all of the assets. I don't know if you want to use them for your remaster. And Iron Galaxy is probably like, hell yeah, we want to use it for the remaster. That's great. Thank you so much.
I definitely see. This is super interesting. Because like also, no way Retro has time to go back to Prime 1 and redo all that if they're supposed to be doing 4. Like there's a
They probably did
here.
enough to get something new out of it, you know?
Yeah, no, there's a reason here. They're trying to trying to come up with ideas. They're figuring out the series. They're going back to the roots. They're doing all that kind of stuff. And then they were like, while we're here, let's do this.
Yeah. Anyway, that was dropped already. You can play it right now.
Yeah, I streamed it last night for a few hours. It was fantastic. It looks great. I might play more tonight on Twitch.
And the physical version, February 22nd.
Yeah, I wish I had patience. But I am a Twitch streamer. I am buying it twice.
So you'll be buying it twice.
I'll be buying it twice.
Let's plow through the rest of this.
Yeah, I know. We're taking too long. Raincode actually does look like a game I might have some interest in. It's made by the Yokai people, I believe. And it looks kind of detective mystery kind of thing. But it looks super polished. It's a brand new IP. And I'm definitely intrigued. It also gives me Persona vibes.
Yes.
But
the next... What is this?
This is actually, I think, maybe the second to last thing. No, the third to last thing. I don't know what that is. It's a JRPG of some kind.
Batten Kaidos remaster. Skip. Fantasy Life.
I have something to say here. So I said this in my video already, but there's a game called Snack World on Switch that is my like little hidden gem Easter egg video that I'm going to make one day. I was addicted to it for a long time, and I really, really, really loved it. It's so unique and interesting and quirky. This is made by the same people, and visually it looks the same. But I guess it's an Animal Crossing inspired-esque game. So if we've got the level of fun that's in Snack World that I like, the level of replayability mixed with Animal Crossing, we could actually have something really fun and cute here. Don't sleep on this one. I think it's going to be more fun than it might even look in this trailer, but that's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay. And then we had like a sizzle reel, I think. Oh no, we got Professor Layton.
Oh yeah, this
is
I keep forgetting about this. This is huge. This is one of those other things where I keep saying, if you're a Nintendo fan, there is something in here for everyone and for most of us. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. We brought up Professor Layton and how we haven't had a Professor Layton game in a long time. And funny enough, here it is. Never played one personally. This wasn't a hype thing for me, but I know people are losing their minds over this.
Yeah, this is good that we're back to this, because we need more DS and 3DS stuff to we need those franchises to make it over to the Switch.
Stuff like this is what helps the Switch succeed even more so.
Yeah. Now we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, new wave of DLC with a new level.
There's a lot more.
It's just this and then like a sizzle reel.
I honestly, I was so ecstatic by this point. I was even paying attention.
Yeah. This level looks cool.
They added Birdo.
Oh yeah, they added new characters, which is apparently a big
deal. I don't think they've added any new characters since the DLC's been coming out.
I think you're correct.
Is Birdo the only new one? That's cool.
That's what it seems like.
Sick.
Anyway, then we get a sizzle reel. We get
hey, Jackson. Sorry, Scootish told me that baseball game they showed in the sizzle reel is only 99 cents. He grabbed it and it was actually really fun. So,
this is a famous Japanese baseball game. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, if you just want to buy a game for $1, that one's there.
Okay, it looks dull. Like again, it looks like a Wii port that they didn't.
I only got it because it was $1.
Right. Okay, so Minecraft Legends.
Sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Blanc, I'm excited for that. There was new stuff coming to the Disney game that Kim really likes. Have a Nice Death, we're looking forward to.
I'm interested in that. That's apparently out on Steam, so I might just play it on Steam.
Grab it.
And then what else? Oh, the baseball game. What's it called? Hold on, let me get the actual name. WBSC eBaseball Power Pros. All right, that's not actually what it's called. There's definitely a Japanese name.
You've never heard of that?
No. Disney Dreamlight Valley, but we know about that already. Tales of Symphonia Remastered.
We know about that
JRPGs. Too. Blanc, we know about, and then we get Zelda. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's it. That's the direct.
Yeah, I saw this and I was waiting for something special about Zelda. You know, I was waiting for like a big thing. And in the middle of it, I was like, oh, is this just Breath of the Wild? Maybe they're adding something to Breath of the Wild. Maybe there'll be like a big. But no, it just looks like Breath. It just looks exactly
right.
like
Here's what I got to give. Going into this, I said on my stream, I was like, the one thing I don't need to see today is Zelda because it's the only thing we have a hard release date for. I'm playing it in a few months. I don't need that. I need everything else. We got everything else and we got Zelda. And by the time I got here, I was ready just to see more. I didn't care. That said, if you're going to show me Zelda, if you're going to show me the new game, show me something new. Because there's very little I personally gleamed from this, but there is a couple of things I thought was interesting. They've added a car.
Hold on, that's him jumping off the cliff is straight up just Breath of the Wild.
All right, let's put the car on pin for a second. Yes, this is using all of the assets from Breath of the Wild. It's very clear that it looks just like Breath of the Wild. This is the Majora's Mask of the Ocarina of Time. I was confused because in the other trailers, Link looks so different, but in this he looks exactly the same. There was they kept a lot of mystery around Link and like not showing his face initially, and like something new was happening, and now we're just full seeing him, and it's Link. He looks cool, but I don't know what all the mystery was about. That weird little bow shot there was cool though. You see that?
I like this part of the trailer where they're showing us new stuff.
Yeah, he shot an arrow and he missed, and then it like zipped on and hit anyway. Like
and then he's grinding like he's got soap shoes. Like this is Sonic Adventure 2.
Jet Set Radio Future. What was that? What was that game on Xbox? You got
it. You nailed it.
Xbox Sunshine something.
Jet Set. Oh, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, that. Yeah. So there is obviously some new things we can glean from this, some new weapons and stuff, but it does look a little like DLC for Breath of the Wild so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a whole new game. I mean, it looks like you can build stuff, and that's cool.
So that's what I was about to say. So in Breath of the Wild, something that a lot of people would do when they started to have fun with the physics and the mechanics of the game is to try and make things their personal ride, their mobile way of getting around the world, right? They would get on rocks, and they would stasis them, freeze them, and hit them a bunch so they could go flying on them. They would get in that mine cart, and there's a way of like attaching balloons to stuff and making things fly. There was a lot of ways that you could get around the game by being sneaky or having fun. And I think that is Nintendo looking at that game, looking at how people were enjoying it, and they were like, oh, you want to ride around, you want to fly? Like, how about we add those as mechanics into the sequel, as well as a ton of other new wacky ways to interact with the world and the environment. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, that will add a lot more to the game too. I mean, like people mostly just mess around in the environment, and that's how people can spend thousands of hours playing Breath of the Wild. So this will give them even more reason to do stuff like that. Basically turning the game into Minecraft.
As far as what to expect from like the game and like playing it, like what makes it feel new, I was kind of hoping with this whole like upstairs that they were building and crafting and creating, like we're going into the sky now.
We're going uppies.
Uppies. That's what I was really hoping to see, because I've played in Hyrule, right? And it looks like while they have made some changes and added new things, it does look like Breath of the Wild. Yeah. So I was hoping to see the uppies and like what's up there. That's the new game. I like in my head, that's the new game I was waiting to play. What's in the uppies? And I still haven't seen that. We're still spending a lot of time on the ground, and every time we've seen the platforms, they kind of look like Wind Waker Islands and Skyward Sword floaties, where it's just little patches of ground that maybe have a puzzle on them or some chests. And I hope it's more fleshed out than that.
I have a suspicion that is going to be like one big dungeon, and that's it. Like one big Divine Beast type area, and like
I think there will be places all over the map where you can go up into the sky and explore, and maybe even go up on a whim and fly around, you know? Like we were talking about with the game that shall not be mentioned because of controversy, how you could get on a broomstick and just fly around at free will and zap around.
What are you talking about? Superman?
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
I think. Lord of the Rings, yeah.
You could zip around. What was impressive there is we haven't had a game in a long time where you can just jump on something that flies and just fly around the whole world. That's just not. There hasn't been game. We haven't had a game like that in a long time. It would be cool if a good one. It'd be cool if, like in Breath of the Wild, you could literally just jump on a flying mechanic, or you could just zip up to the sky in some way. Whenever you feel like you could fly around Hyrule, fly up into the sky, explore the whole world that way. It would be really sick.
I was interested in seeing Link be totally different, and I suspect that you could probably get different outfits and whatever. You could probably get the outfit from him in the original trailer or whatever. But I would have liked there to be like a big story reason for his huge change, you know. And it looks like
it's coming.
It looks like he's still got like the corrupted arms and stuff. He's like reaching for Zelda in this. What if Zelda is his arm and it's like Forspoken?
Yeah. People have had this theory. That moment right there they showed, that's the precursor to him getting the arm. She says something like
well, it looks like his arm's already messed up.
Yeah, but it's all burnt to a crisp somehow, but it's not digitized yet. And I think she says a line here. Yeah. I can't hear what you're playing, but it's something like give him the power or something. And I think that's when he gets the arm. I don't know if the arm is Ganon, if the arm is Midna, if the arm is Zelda, but the arm definitely is sentient. It just feels like it's going to be sentient.
I think Ganon messes his arm up, and then she like uses her power to like patch it, and then she's like part of him.
Which is sick. Like I am like
that'd be awesome. I'm down for that. I want that. I want him to be fucked up in this.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, someone in chat said I think Zelda dies. I think it's possible because, you know, she doesn't seem like she's part of the game from all like the trailers we've seen. So she has to go somewhere. I could see her, maybe the story is like trying to bring her back, which could be really interesting.
Well, that was the first game, right?
No, what was it? Bringing her back, or was it like getting to her? I don't remember.
It was kind of bringing her back, and you would unlock the memories of her like talking and stuff. So like you kind of like had her as like a force ghost every once in a while. So like I feel like this is going to be the same thing. You're going to have her as the arm, so she's going to talk to you every once in a while, and then at the end you like get her out of your arm or something.
Get out of here, man.
Like, yeah.
I could see that for sure. I'm not worried about this game at all. I'm gonna have so much fun with this game.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Nitpicking here, but even if it is just more of the first game, it's gonna be great.
My only fear right now is that based on what we've seen, it looks like just more of the first game. And I was hoping to have something a little bit more grand. Because so far, off the top of my head, I've seen a couple new abilities, I've seen a couple new weapons, I've seen a car and a ship thing, and I've seen some floating platforms. And I think all of that amounts to a lot of fun, but I was hoping for a little more. So it's going to be interesting to see what else there is and how all of those come together to make it feel worth the new $70 price tag.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was a mistake because that accidentally dropped on Tuesday. Probably when the direct was supposed to happen. Best Buy leaked it, and apparently it was on the eShop for like a hot second.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I think it was like an auto thing, like these websites and stuff were supposed to have
when
the direct
when
on
did
Tuesday.
that happen? Yeah, was that Tuesday?
Yeah.
So the direct was supposed to be Tuesday.
I think so.
That's interesting because even in our last episode, you said Nintendo had been running a little behind on things, so you think it might get pushed back a little, and then they were pushed back a day.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting $70. I don't know why they don't just wait till the next generation to start upping the price of stuff, but I mean, everyone else did it. So Nintendo's like, we can definitely make some money, but this is one of the best-selling games on the console. It's going to sell a shit ton, so why don't we tack on an extra $10? People will pay it, right?
That was what I was going to say. It was absolutely that. It was, if you're going to up the price at any point, it would be on a Zelda or a Mario or at next gen. And I think they've just decided it's on Zelda. Someone in my chat last night had a wild take. They said, I can't believe we've been waiting for this game for like 4 years through all these delays just for them to add the price tag on us or to like jack up the price. For me, I'm kind of like backwards on it. I'm like, yeah, they've been working on this game for 4 years, you know? How many times, even now that we have $70 PS5 games, that we have games come out that aren't worth $70, that have been made in a year, that are 8 hours long, that are questionable if they should be 70. If any game is worth paying that extra 10 for, is it not the one that's been in development for several years that has been delayed to the point where they're making it perfect, you know?
Yeah, I have the same stance as I always do on game prices. Like, games used to be really expensive, and games now are really expensive to make, and they haven't gotten any more. They don't cost more. The games have gone down in price since the 90s.
I agree. I had this conversation last night on Twitch. I said we were paying this price for games back in the 90s. Games in the 90s in magazines, when you look at the magazines, they'll say $60, $70, $80, $90 for the new games coming out.
Street Fighter 2 was $80.
Jeopardy on NES was $90. You know what $60 in 1990 is today?
A lot.
$135.
Yeah.
That is the equivalent of us paying $135 today for video games back then. Video games somehow just kept that price for 20 years, 30 years through inflation, through games being made for a nickel back in the day. I think
they cost a lot less to make them too back then.
Sonic was made on like $100,000 budget or something. Now games are made on multi-million, billion-dollar, not billion, multi-million dollar
They spent
budget.
$500 million on some games.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like Red Dead's and your games like that, those are made on multi-million-dollar budgets, and
but
we pay half the price.
It's a scary conversation to have because I don't want them to raise the price. I don't want them knowing that they can raise the price.
Yes.
I'd rather it be $60. I just know that they could charge a lot more, and we would all pay for it.
1,000%.
I don't like talking about it because because then somebody's over there rubbing their hands and go, "Oh, I could charge more." You're saying, but I like to just try to avoid the conversation as much as possible, but
we're here, and the conversation needs to be had. Someone brought up when I said all of that last night too. They were like, "Yeah, but some games just aren't worth 70," and that's true. Some games ain't, but those same games probably aren't worth 60 either. And what happens is they come out like, and I had a great time with Sonic Frontiers, but they come out at $70, and then within 2 weeks they're $20. Like if a game isn't worth its price, if it isn't worth 70, it won't be 70 for long. Yes, 70 is the standard price, but
I use Breath of the Wild as an example of game prices because every game is all AAA games. Most of them hit the same price point, even if they're complete garbage or have nothing in them. They still try to hit the same price point. So I always use the example of Breath of the Wild being the same price as something that doesn't deserve $60, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Tears of the Kingdom, I think I used to say Breath of the Wild is $100 game. $100 easily, and that's what that game should be worth. But Tears of the Kingdom being $10 more, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah, I know. I've actually had an idea in my head for a while of what makes a video game $70 or what makes a video game worth its price. And you look at all the elements, like, because you have games that like, to break it down this way, a lot of people like to say a game isn't worth its price if it's 8 hours. Like, let's take Ratchet and Clank, for example. They're like, this game isn't worth its price because it's only 8 hours. But they're not taking into account, like, how incredible the music is and getting like a whole orchestra to play the music, or how the animation is on par with like a Disney movie and it's an 8-hour long Disney movie, or how the game or they're not taking any of that into effect. So if we're just talking about hours, does that mean if I made a game tomorrow that is a basic little stick figure on a 2D plane with no color that bats a ball back and forth, but it takes you 150 hours to finish the game, is my game worth 60? Is my game worth 70 based on how long the game is? Like, there's so many variables that go into what makes a game worth its price. And a game like Breath of the Wild, it's the whole package, and it probably is $100 game, but shush.
Games are an experience. You're paying for an experience. It's like going to a theme park.
Yes.
Is it? You could spend a day at a theme park and spend $200. Was that worth it? You know, like
I know. I dude, that's such a good comparison, and I use that a lot. Like, you can go to a show and ride a roller coaster for 5 minutes, so it'll cost you $10, or you can buy a $60, $70 Ratchet and Clank and have 8 hours of fun. Like, everything is perspective in the world. And I feel like where we trip up is that games just have this random $60 price that's been the price for everything, despite the quality, despite the length, despite everything, because we don't have this like free market of price values. So then games get compared to each other for $60 when they shouldn't. Just be thankful that 60 is the base price. And if a game actually isn't that, it'll be cheap pretty soon. And now that base price is just 70.
Yeah. I tweeted an example, which was Breath of the Wild versus Bomberman.
Yeah.
Because they were both $60. Actually, I was wrong. Bomberman was $50.
That's pretty close though.
Because I looked at the chart to make sure I was hitting it, but I think the pre-order was $60, and then it immediately dropped before the game even came out. The game dropped to $50.
That's interesting. I mean,
so look at how much it's worth. Look at how quickly it dropped. It dropped down to less than 40, which it still wasn't worth. Dropped down to 30. Like, that game immediately became very cheap.
Wait, by February, in a month, it was $20.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's 2023. Okay.
No, wait. Right here, where my
very bottom, there's years.
Yeah. Where my mouse is, though, it became less. It became like $25 in the year it came out.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, which was the launch of the Switch.
That's what I'm talking about. Same thing happened with Sonic Frontiers. Same thing happened with a lot of games that come out now.
And Zelda didn't. Zelda gets as cheap as 40, and that's it. And you're lucky if you get that.
40 is a steal.
I will say, though, remember those game vouchers that we shit all over? Actually, we shit all over it in an episode that isn't out yet. You can use somebody said you could use the voucher on Tears of the Kingdom. I think they mentioned it in the direct, maybe, or no, it's part of the eShop page. It says that you can use a voucher.
Can we get confirmation?
Let me triple check that.
Chat will probably be able to tell us in next week's episode, which we've already shot, and we were trying really hard not to date ourselves. I guess one thing we did have a little bit of a date on now is we talked about the vouchers and how
and Nintendo Switch Online games. Like that, the whole episode is about the Nintendo Switch Online games.
Do we even post that episode?
We can probably amend it, but here, redeem a Nintendo Switch game voucher on the Tears of the Kingdom eShop page.
So this makes those vouchers actually getting way more valuable. So if you don't know what the vouchers are, because people were confused, and we're going to talk about it a lot next week, don't you worry. You're going to learn a lot about it in a week's time. You can pay $100 if you already have Nintendo Switch Online. If you pay for the subscription online service, you can buy 2 vouchers for $100, and you can redeem them for certain games on Nintendo's little list of games you can redeem on. There's a bunch of $60 games, some $50 games, and we had a conversation about what's the worth of getting 2 50s. But if you got 2 60s, you would save $20. If you get 2 70s, and now we only have one 70 game right now, but if you got 2 70s, you are saving $40, almost what we used to pay for a whole game. So now those vouchers are looking pretty good, and also makes the timing of the vouchers pretty suspicious.
Yeah, no, for sure. They for sure announced those vouchers here in America specifically because of Tears of the Kingdom.
Because even in my chat last night on Twitch, when I was like, Breath of the Wild's going to be 70 now, everyone in chat was like, yeah, but you can use the vouchers. So that's the immediate defense now. It's like, yeah, but the vouchers make it affordable again. And that's
if you spend a monthly subscription with Nintendo.
But that's exactly what Nintendo wanted. It was softening the blow, and it was also giving like that fallback of, but the vouchers make it affordable again, so it's not too bad.
I want to point out that Pikmin 4 is coming out after Zelda, and it's $60. And you can redeem a voucher.
My God, that is interesting. That is very interesting. I guess they don't see the value in that being $70.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, not sure. Well then, so okay, so when Breath of the Wild went $70, I assumed they were just moving towards all Nintendo first-party games will be $70 from now on, because that's how Sony did it.
Yep.
But they are doing Pikmin at $60. So are we only going to have some games at $70? I guess the games Nintendo deem are worth more.
I vaguely remember this being a thing during the Wii U era. There were games that were $50, and then towards the end, they started just like randomly making them $60, I think.
I mean, Nintendo, I guess when you think about it, they do a lot of first-party stuff, and sometimes you got 60s, sometimes you've got 50s, like with Bomberman. You see 50 quite a bit. You see 30s and 40s sometimes, even with Nintendo games. Like Miitopia, I think, was 40, no? Or was that a 50? That might have been a 50.
Nintendo said the $70 is on a game-by-game basis. Where did they say that?
Yeah, where
did they call you up and tell you? Why didn't they call us?
I guess Nintendo are just going to have a scaling price range of their games. They're going to have, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, depending on the game.
Until the next generation. Then you're going to see
until the next generation.
Almost all of the first parties.
Yeah, probably all be 70 at that point. Yeah, okay. All right. I guess a couple other things. We get a collector's edition pop up, unless you want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom more. I still call it Breath of the Wild 2. I can't help it.
No, that's all I got. There's a collector's edition that looks pretty sick. They didn't say anything about the Switch.
That's what I was getting to. So we have a collector's edition for $130, and it looks like the other collector's edition they did for Breath of the Wild, so it'll be nice and matching. They have a new amiibo of Link with his arm, and that looks sick too. And then even when I was live, reacting, I was like, okay, so the Switch is next, right? And they didn't show it. And now you would think is the time to show it, unless two things. One, it's fake. Three things. One, it's fake. Two, it just drops in a tweet. They've done that before with special editions. They just tweet it out. Or three, we are getting a Breath of the Wild Direct with a big look at Breath of the Wild, which I would actually be surprised if we don't get. Honestly, I mean,
I'm surprised we got this. I thought it was gonna be. I thought they would at least announce more information or something.
Yeah. I
mean, more information on a big direct. Like, hey, here's a little sneak preview. Here's more in another direct.
I think April, about a month out from the game releasing, we'll get a Breath of the Wild Direct that'll have the Switch in it. And that it makes sense to save it for that, doesn't it? No, although, shut up, Wood, because doesn't the special edition Switches, they usually come out like a good 2 weeks or a month before the game.
1 week.
Like 1 week? Okay.
It's usually 1 week.
Is 3 weeks or is a month is enough time, right? It's enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a month before the game, they'll do a Breath of the Wild. God dang. Tears of the Kingdom Direct. And they'll reveal the Switch. That's if it's real. Like, are we starting to think it's fake?
So people in the chat are saying they thought it was fake. Remember how it had all the circles? There's all these circles. How could somebody guess that,
Was that used anywhere else at any point?
Probably.
Because all right. Well, that is the design. You're right.
I know, but you were like, "Oh, I hate these stupid circles." Like, why would somebody be like, "Oh, I love these circles"? They're definitely going to use these circles. Just seems like a really weird choice that is so obviously Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, everything about that leak looks super real. I do think it's real. I think they're just going to hold it off until a month beforehand. It might be too early to reveal it now if they want to release it kind of in tandem with the game coming out. Usually they come out early. They come out like a week beforehand. You're right. So I think that lines up. I think we'll still get a Breath of the Wild. I think because also we get directs for all their big games. We haven't had much of a good look at Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think we've had like a good over-the-top look at it. Where
this was the most gameplay we've ever seen.
Yeah. I always feel like we end up seeing too much of games, and we haven't seen too much of this yet. So I think there's still room for it to get ruined.
Breath of the Wild, we saw a lot before it launched.
I know. Yeah, we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of Fire Emblem. We saw a lot of Monster Hunter. We saw a lot of things in their own directs. I think Monster Hunter had its own direct, if I remember.
Monster Hunter?
I think so. But that was it. What did you think overall? You want to rate it out of 10?
What do I rate it? I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 or an 8 or an 8 or a 9. I think it's really, really, really high. I don't think it's a 10. I think if they were still doing Smash announcements, Smash reveals, could have maybe given it a 10.
Yeah, if there was a Smash reveal in this, it would have been a 10, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or a new Mario game. If there's a new Mario game, I would have given it a 10.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, for you, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give it a 9. I think realistically, my personal bias aside, maybe an 8. But either way, it was absolutely fantastic. It was a great direct. It's what we needed to start the year. It gave us stuff right now. It gave us stuff to look forward to. I mean, we still have Breath of the Wild coming, which is really the main tie-over for this year until the late year. So there's plenty of time. May is just before E3 season. So we'll be playing Breath of the Wild, and by the time we're about done with Breath of the Wild, we'll get the E3 time direct, and we'll be set up for the rest of the year, whatever they've got coming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a big deal for me. I am using my personal bias when I give it a 9. Otherwise, it's like an 8.5.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page then.
Yeah,
I mean,
really I kind of did get a whole new Mario game because I'm getting 38 levels I've never played before.
That's true. So. I'm looking forward to that too now.
Yeah. So, what did the chat do? What did everybody else think?
Chat.
You leave a comment if you're listening to this afterwards.
Chat is honestly throwing mostly 9s, a lot of 8s, and then anything under that I'm seeing is just a 7, and 7 is still good in my opinion.
Yeah. It's still passing.
E3 is canceled this year. Yes, to clarify again, I'm not saying the E3 direct. I'm saying the E3 time direct. So
yeah, like a summer direct.
The summer July E3 time direct.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's great. I mean,
we got a lot of content that launched yesterday. So like we got a lot of stuff we're like ready to play right now. So
no, it's really great. Also,
we should be happy, guys.
From a conceited point of view, it was fantastic for my career. No, I needed the Game Boy stuff. I needed that to happen. Because I was I took my month off. I haven't made content in a while, and algorithms the way they are, if you take some time off, YouTube doesn't understand that you're not making videos, and that's why you're getting no views. YouTube just understands that you're not doing as well as you were recently. So it's scary coming back, but to come back with a really awesome direct and end up on trending because of the direct hype, it's just the little boost that my channel needed to get me back into it, and I'm excited to start making content again. This was good. I needed this.
Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. I'm so glad you got your GBA stuff. I'm so happy for you.
Yay! I'll be playing it tonight on Twitch. Everybody come Twitch.
I wish there was more multiplayer stuff we could dive into. I really wanted to do Mario Kart.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of multiplayer stuff because it's a pain in the ass to do multiplayer on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Yo, there was a game for Game Boy called like Maze Ball or something that you can get 16 player.
Really?
Like
on Game Boy
together. Yeah, wow. I've never seen an instance of somebody actually pulling it off. That's
you want to
thing.
Do it for a video?
I think that YouTuber Stop Skeletons from Fighting or something. He tried it and only got up to like 8.
Well, what happened? He ran out of friends.
You have to link them, chain them all together, and if one of the link cables is messed up a little bit, or if one of the Game Boys is messed up, you're gonna just break the chain.
Oh wow! So it's like Christmas lights when one of the bulb goes out, they all go out.
Yes, it's called Maze Ball. Yeah, Maze Ball. One of the first person shooters.
Oh, it's a first person shooter. I pictured like a marble game.
No, it's a first-person shooter.
16 people on Game Boy first-person shooter?
Yeah.
That sounds like a fever dream.
Yeah. Put that on the Switch with multiplayer, but you can only do 4. Forget it. End the show. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Hey, if you guys want to watch us live more today, both Bob and I will be live on Twitch tonight. Twitch.tv/Wolfden and Twitch.tv/Beatemups. You can switch between our 2 streams and have a great time. If you're listening to the podcast, this is the second one we've done this week. So how about you thank us by rating us 5 stars or whatever the rating system is wherever you are. Leave a nice little comment with it. And if you're watching on YouTube, smash the video with a like and leave a comment down below. And also, for those that have been watching live, thank you so much for being a part of the show. The last thing I'll say is, as you guys know, we have a Patreon. We love our Patreons ever so dearly. We have a Patreon episode going up today. Right now, actually, it was one that we shot right after we did the last episode. A little confusing, but I made Bob try those cool glasses with the you can plug your Nintendo Switch into. So if you want to see that,
we jack into VR.
We jack into AR actually.
Oh shoot!
AR Nintendo Switch. We play a game of Smash in there. It's a lot of fun, and that's in the bonus episode. And the last thing is the sweaters. We have new sweaters. They're available right now. It's still cold. It's still winter. Punxsutawney Phil said 6 more weeks, so you have time to get your sweater at whatever the website is. Links down below. Also buy a t-shirt. That is everything. My God.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.